What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Chat and Draw. Who am I? Well, I'm the publisher of Short Fuse Media Group, founder of Freestyle Comics, lead creative there, one half of the good, the bad, and the nerdy. I've been told I'm the most enthusiastic person in comics, and I am also known as the Super Mad Brother. Your host, Mike Watson, on this show where we chat and we draw. Show is going great. We are at the 19th episode. All right. And man, I'm telling you right now, we got some nice things lined up and planned for the show coming up. Those of you that stuck with us, appreciate it. Those of you that are just joining us, great. So happy to have you on board with us. I have a very awesome guest on this show, and we're going to get that started here in a second. But I'm going to put up a little I want to put up a little something here because I'm so excited about these. I've been working on the Hot Shot pages, and through all my shows, I've always said I'm going to give you guys updates and let you know where I'm at to hold myself accountable for it. And I'm going to give you a little peek at one of the new pages I'm working on. This is a page that's in process right now. All right, bam. That's all I'm going to give you, though. That's it. That's off. That's off the screen now. Bam. All right. But good things happening. Got a great guest coming onto the show today. Can't wait to bring her up there. We also have a nice lineup of guests coming up. I will let you know. Chat and Draw is about to upgrade in a little bit here. So stay tuned for those news and that update. Things are running a little slow. Internet's overwhelmed and stressed, but it's that time.
Here comes a new challenger!
What's going on?
What's up? This is Moana McAdams, my comic book sis right here. Absolutely love this woman. She is a gem. She's awesome. She is one of the hardest working people that I've seen out here in the industry making things happen. How you doing today?
I am doing pretty good. I'm still trying to balance this whole work from home stuff. But but I'm hanging in here. I'm doing all right.
Awesome, awesome. We got Danny J Quick in the building. What up, Danny?
Yay.
Thank you. I appreciate the praise and the share, man. I tried to murder that hood Naruto, man, and it's getting some good responses, man. I appreciate your support. Uh, Danny says he's gonna enjoy this episode. I am too, man. First, let's just get this out the way. Moana, I have so much damn respect for you and what you do and watching you work. You are one of the type of people that I talk about all the time that has her nose to the floor and is grinding, producing, upbeat and positive, dropping knowledge, putting out stellar product. You've gone from I've met you when you were working on comics with your husband, which you're still doing, to now you have this full blown amazing children's book. You're doing a fashion line. You're doing mask. You're writing. You got a novel out. Like, what is it that Moana cannot do?
um, I mean, I think we all can do whatever we want to, right? It's the biggest obstacle is in our head. So if you put your mind to do something, you're gonna do it. Um, and it wasn't always easy, right? Like
Right.
it's just the initial road to like get started, and then you see you do something and it's like, okay, that was all right. I mean, it could be better, but let's keep going, and you just keep going and keep making things better, and take some lessons learned along the way and apply it to something else. It's like whatever kind of excites you at the moment. It's kind of how I work. I'm like, right now I really feel like I should be doing this. Um, Sometimes I do it to my own detriment. I wear myself out, but um,
Mhm.
it's pretty cool when you can stand back and be like, oh, look, in this time frame, this is what I made. It wasn't there before, but like I made it. So
Right. So tell us about what you're into, Moana. What is the resume? What do you have? And then what are we working on for you today?
okay. Let's see the resume. Creatively, I'm the editor for Wildcard Chronicles independent comic book series, created by my husband, Nuri McAdams. He's the author and mastermind creator. For that, we got an amazing artist team working on the Wildcard Chronicles. Got 2 issues out. We're working on kind of issues 3 and 4 simultaneously writing right now. Um, so that's our comic book series that we self-publish and distribute and run on our own. And then we have let's see what else I got. Oh, I have I was in an anthology. Was it last year? Crazy. It seems like it was yesterday, but then it seems like it was longer. So I have a short story in an anthology. It's called Set Apart and Chosen, and it's kind of a book about overcoming challenges and what is like a pivotal moment that kind of makes you who the person that you are today. So I have a short story in there. It's called Aftermath.
Mhm.
And that kind of will play into other parts of our uh, our creative universe here later on. Um, and then most recently is my children's book that I wrote. Started writing it last year and found my illustrator, Sheila Alejandro, who did some amazing work on it. And we successfully funded it via Kickstarter. Thank you to everybody who helped us to do that.
I got mine.
And yes, thank you, Mike. So much love on that Kickstarter, and I'm excited to keep the series going. So we were lucky and fortunate to have, you know, the books arrived before all the Corona craziness happened, and we had our stuff printed in Taiwan, and so um, I'm glad we beat out any of the added stress. I mean, it's already stressful trying to publish your own book and everything. But to have the added stress of uncertainty of what's going on with your supply chain and all that stuff. So we made it. We have it in hand, and then the plan was for us to um, send these books out to different schools in first back home in Hawaii, to some
Mhm.
underserved communities, school districts that they don't always get the best resources because it's in communities where we're not rich, right? We're
Right, right, right.
so we wanted to give the kids some stories that they can number one relate to because it takes place in their homeland and the characters look like them, and it's things that they can relate to because they do this every day. And so that is still the plan. I don't know when we're going to be able to deliver because when we do deliver, we do want there to be folks in the schools, to receive the stuff. So all these things
Right.
in my head, I'm like, I guess it's going to be the beginning of the next school year or whatever. But so in the meantime, we're just trying to I think we fulfilled all of our backers. I think we have like three, who haven't responded to our surveys yet. So I feel pretty good about that. That we're almost 100% done fulfilling the campaign. And then we've just been trying to promote a little bit online to move some more books and just get it out, especially with the convention season. And I'm sure we're going to get into all this, but um all the plans that we had for 2020 are now being upended, and so we're just trying to
Right,
be
right, right.
flexible and figure out the new strategy.
Exactly. I don't think if this didn't happen, I don't think this show would have existed.
Right, right. Which is it's good, right? Like, so some things got upended, but there's also we're being given a lot of time to uh, work on some projects that usually we can't because we're so busy with life. Not to say that
Hmm.
life has disappeared because it's still here, and in many ways it's even harder. But at least you um, have some time at home to kind of think through things more and um, you know incorporate some other activities while you're trying to just figure out your life.
Shout out to LaShawn Colvin in the building. She joined in here. She's throwing you all the girl power with the shoulder, with the arm muscle out there.
Hey,
Andy's watching us.
listen.
Shout out Andy. Shout out Chris Williams.
What's up, y'all? How you
How y'all
doing?
all doing?
I'm
Danny
excited
said
for
he found.
beautiful soldiers.
You're excited for what?
Beautiful soldiers.
Yeah, woman. Who you telling? Who you telling? LaShawn has murdered me with those covers
I
and those
know.
pages. Like she'll put out a cover like, "Oh, this is just the regular cover, just the one we're going for today. I just want to let you know we worked really hard on this one." And then Tuesday, this is the serious cover. And then like it completely like the cover yesterday was good, and now this new cover has just blown it out the water. Uh, I love that about LaShawn. She continually steps up on her presentation and work that she brings to the table. And she's got me just, waiting for this book. Like as soon as it comes out, I'm on it.
Exactly. Kickstarter, back. I don't need to even read nothing. Back.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as the link goes up, backed. Like I'm trying to see these soldiers, girl.
Right. Yeah, me too. Which is cool because
So
I hope we talk a little bit about girl power today.
oh yeah, absolutely we are. And you were there, and you were one of the persons talking about like I need to get more women on this show because there are women creators out here, and there are women creators kicking it, but also for my own selfish reasons, so I can find more of them, because I'm constantly looking.
Absolutely.
LaShawn, she hit us with the laugh, and then she said, "I'm dead, laughing my butt off. Thanks, you guys. Love you guys so much." Yeah, and Danny J. Quick, LaShawn Kelvin kills consistently. Yes, she does. It's just like it's like she can't miss, and very much so looking forward to it. But we're talking about some girl power, and you gave me a little bit of freedom with this. We're drawing one of the kiddos,
Yes, I'm loving it.
from your children book. So, give us the quick synopsis about this, and who is this little girl that I am drawing?
Okay, so Mike is drawing Nohea, and she's um the little girl in my new series. So the first book that we just published is I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll try to. Fishing Day with Papa Ray is the
Hmm.
name of the first book, and so you can
Okay.
see Nohea right here. The
Yep.
series itself will focus on the two kids, but so Nohea is kind of like she's an adventurer, she's obviously black. I mean, come on now. And so when Mike was talking to me about coming on the show, and he was like, I need the character sheet. I need, like, what is her power set? And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't really envision powers because the way I envisioned this series is more kind of like a culturally inspired series, but then I was like, well, I guess they could have superpowers eventually. Maybe that'll be a way for them to, incorporate them into the Wildcard Chronicles universe at some point. We'll see. But so when I was thinking about like a power set for her, I really wanted it to be like, so growing up myself, one of my most favorite comic book characters was Storm. Um, and obviously because she was a woman of color and just, I mean, she's a beast, she's Storm.
Right, right, right.
And so I was like, okay, like today, like a lot of you have a lot of kids because the mainstream images are not their natural beauty, right? So a lot of kids feel like, or ladies, women too, um feel like they have to change their hair and things like that, but there's a lot of power that comes from it. If you think about afros and African hair, what is the most powerful like force on the earth? It's gravity, right?
Hmm.
But like, look at your hair. Your hair is like defying the most powerful force on the earth. That's what a fro is. It's going
Standing on
against
its own.
that force. Yeah. So it's like I kind of want it to be it has to do with like electrical signals, and things like that. I don't know all the details, and I'm not the scientist or whatever, but um it has to do with like your ability to conduct electricity, which has a lot to do with the way our body functions and all that stuff on a deeper level. But um I thought, hey, let's emphasize the hair because that's something that I feel like our girls need to see more. Like we're starting to get more
Mhm.
now, but they need to be flooded with images that help them to love the way they look naturally. And so I was like, Power said, okay, let's do the hair. Let's have it be some kind of electricity based force, kind of with the storm influence in there too. So I'm excited to see what you come up with. I like what I see so far. Um, and I'm gonna be excited too to see how my niece reacts to this because she was the inspiration for this character. So
Mm. Well, I've been having so much fun doing this show and
yeah.
meeting so many different characters that I had no idea about. I mean, I had information about yours because we read the book. I read it to my daughters, and my son when we got it, and they loved it. Uh, actually, Mila, sorry,
Good.
Mila, come here. One second, let me bring this down.
I love it. Yes.
Mila, come here.
Hi, Mila.
This is Moana.
How are you?
She made the book that we got that I read you about the fishing with Papa.
That's awesome. How old are you, Mila?
How old are you? It's 8.
8? What? That's how old Nohea is.
I'm drawing the little girl from the book for Moana right now. Yeah, but she loved it. She carries it around with her and stuff.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, they absolutely dug it. But
Yeah, I
I
keep
gave it to
getting
her.
messages from folks that are like, favorite book of the week.
I mean, that's got to feel good, right?
It does. It's good. I had a lot of when I was thinking about the story, I was like, man, I don't know. I think we all go through this a little bit. Like, is anybody gonna care about this story? Am I gonna read this story, or is this just me? Like pumping my own gas. Um,
I feel it.
but
I feel it.
but I was like, it's needed. I know it's needed because people tell us, whenever we're at conventions and stuff, they're like, oh, do you guys have any kids content too? Um, and that was another kind of motivator for like why I wanted to come up with a children's book series too, because my husband, he's the creator of the Chronicles,
Hmm.
um, which is much more mature audience focused. I mean, kids can still enjoy it too, but there is, some things that some parents would not be cool with.
Right, right.
Um, but we definitely wanted to have content that kids could enjoy too. And so another thing I've been kind of working on, or at least trying to find some time to work on it during this whole quarantine time, is like an activity book and coloring pages, and things like that to make um, some other cool stuff that folks could enjoy, and maybe run a digital campaign, like a quick one, um, for activity pages for all the families and kids that are still at home and stuff like that. So
See, and I think that's a great idea because I think a lot of people are afraid to try to run a Kickstarter right now, but people are looking for things to do.
yeah.
They are looking for things to do. Danny J. Quick,
Mm-hmm.
who's watching this now, they just killed their Kickstarter. They set it up for 14 days, and it's about their podcast where they talk about their superheroes, but in audio form. It was like, and they are they're over
Right.
$600. They're only 300. So that if it's related to kids and finding something to occupy them in the house, I think you're gonna smash it.
Yeah. So thank you for helping me smash it because this is going in it.
No problem. It is yours to do what you want with it.
I have some follow-on work for you after that.
I, I'm here for it. LaShawn says she loves her name. She says it's beautiful. Andy is saying, how do you and your husband work together as a team? Great question. My wife and I would love to work together on projects, but it never goes well. Mostly because I push hard, not just myself, but other too. And my wife is my yang. So because she is all about the laid back, do it whenever. So that's a great question, Mona. How do you and your husband do it? Because let me tell you, y'all, from what I saw and what I heard, y'all murdered Baltimore. Y'all set up look better than what Marvel and DC did when they came down there. Y'all
Good,
was
because
bad.
that's always our goal is to smash them. Because our setup would have smashed their San Diego setup too. So there you go, DC. No, no. So I mean, we kind of have a John and I kind of have a yin and yang thing going on too. I mean, okay, so he we're both very much hard chargers. It just comes out in different ways. So my husband's a Marine. That should tell you everything about him. You know, like there is no surrender. We're going hard, and the plan is attack. That's always the plan. Um, but we're both very detail oriented in the things that we do, and it's like um we probably work slower than other creators because we want the impact to be there. We don't want it to just be like, that was cool, and then people forget it, right? Like, so it
Right.
takes us a little longer to put things out, and it's very intentional. Um, but working together, how do we work together? So for the most part, when he's writing, I really don't get involved too much because, and I think all writers can kind of relate to this, that like that's his time. He's the writer. He's the creator. It's his vision, and I try not to step into it too much. At the beginning when we were first starting, I would like try to get involved, and I just found that was not. Um, it didn't help anybody. It caused more arguments than it did help. So I usually wait till he's ready. He feels like it's at a point where he's ready to share, and then we'll talk about it together, and see, how this is going to go and what the plan's going to be going forward. I try to focus more on running the logistics and the operations, the business side of it, because it really is both just he and I. Like we don't have any staff, any regular staff. We don't have interns and things like that. So and then we're working people too. So we have full time jobs, and um, so everything that we do it's always very efficiency focused and trying to pick the best quality things that we can work on. Um, and then just try to focus on that. But that certainly takes time. Like, okay, so we go back to the Baltimore setup. Folks really loved it. Um, and we put a lot of time, effort, and resources into it. I mean, that setup was sitting in the middle of our living room for the better part of I think at least 8 months.
Hmm.
Um, and it was, a it's not easy to put that setup together. It costs a lot of money, and so
Hmm.
we buy things, like piece by piece kind of thing, like testing as we go along, and with the bigger vision in mind, but just trying to make sure that everything runs correctly, because you don't want to get to the stage, to the floor, and your gear's not working. You don't have time for failure once you get there. So um, a lot of it, most people won't see that, but for us, it's like, okay, we got that, we got this going on. All right, let's go to this. And while you're trying to balance that also with, creatively keeping your story going and the marketing and, all the things that us as especially independent creators, all the different variables that we have to manage within our business. So yeah, so I try to focus on the business stuff while he's still creating, because he does a ton of research for our characters as well. Um, because a lot of our characters are inspired by real people and real actual cultures. He puts a lot of work into um, each of the characters that he introduces and that are going to have a longer stay in the series. So I don't know if that helped or made sense, Andy, but hopefully that gives you a little bit.
Well, it sounds like you guys basically clashed heads, and then after enough of clashing heads, you kind of figured out a division, parts where each one of you could focus on, and that's how your ship works. Sometimes you cross over, but like you said, you're handling the business end of it, and he's handling the creative end. That way, you guys get to both work together without killing each other.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, because it's like a lot of not all husband and wife couples could do this because it's just a different dynamic, right?
Hmm.
Um, But at the end of the day, like I'm with I'm with him 100%. Like he has this
Right.
this just vision and this way. And I might not agree with everything, but I know that like even whatever we come up with, it's gonna work. So um the path is not always smooth, but we get to the destination.
Right. All right, so Tony Cottrell, shout out to him being on the show. He's saying, "Oh shoot, one of my favorite creators." Talking to you, Mon. Andy says, "I love your thoughts on hair. As a white dude, I am frequently asking women, mostly black, if I can take photos of their hair for reference." Andy's a big reference guy. Andy will research and gather his thoughts on things before he does it. And I was on a panel with him, and it was real good to have Andy on that panel. But I also agree with what you're saying about hair. I found myself more lately really trying to push and look at different hairstyles that for character designs I've been doing that I don't see a whole lot of. And I know are super popular to draw for people, and I've been trying to find different ways to draw those dreadlocks or different hairstyles of dreadlocks. So
Yeah,
we're still not getting the same thing with what we don't see a lot of, but because those are those popular trends that people like to get on or whatnot.
absolutely.
All right. Danny J Quick said, "Thanks for the shout out. No problem, brother." He said, "I bet you get some weird looks." That was probably obviously that was referencing something we said earlier. Tony's agreeing with you by saying truth. That you guys had motorcycle and y'all had girls. Hey, I ain't want to bring it up, but do they do roll with some bad ones. Not I ain't want to be
Yes,
the guy, but since y'all bringing it up, they do roll with a couple baddies. All right.
we kind of well, so it's funny because we roll kind of like a lions, like a pride of lions.
Uh huh.
That's like you have the alpha male and then you have the alpha females, and that's kind of how we roll when we um our circle of peeps that we work with is it's always like we're very selective about the people that you allow close into your circle. And yeah, not all females can roll like that. I guess I would say. Um, but yeah, we managed to do it pretty good. Jaji Ramos is one of the ones who was with us from the beginning. I don't know if y'all recognize her, but she is actually one of the original Rough Riders from back in the day when we had DMX and all those folks, all the crew. Um, and so she'd be repping out on the bikes, like it was John's vision to somehow bring her into our circle because she's really important to have because a lot of our the Wildcard Chronicles story is influenced by bike life. You'll see it centers around bike life, and so we really wanted her to be involved in the project. So yeah, she's been ride or die with us ever since uh ever since we met her. So yeah, shout out to Jaji Ramos. And fellas, I know y'all are not going may not ask it here, but I will talk about it because I know you guys want to know. So some of y'all might have seen that Pinky is coming into the circle, and she will be showing up in issue 3. So get ready for that.
Yeah,
And
yeah, fellas, get ready for that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. If some of you
yeah,
know what I'm talking about, but like, that's dope that you have that association, and she wants to be in y'all's comic book. That's incredible.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's trying to diversify too. Any
Yeah,
smart businesswoman will do that. And it's a win-win because it's good for us, it's good for her, and I have a lot of things that I would love to see happen. We'll see if we can make that happen. But yeah, I'm trying to have her show up at the conventions with us. We'll see. It's all logistics and scheduling and all that fun stuff. So
yeah. I had a model work with us. Um, she wasn't as big as Pinky, but she was doing video shoots and like Source magazine shoots and stuff like that. And I was a follower, I was a fan of hers, and she was at Wizard World Comic Con at a
Uh-huh.
table by herself. People were just walking past her, didn't know who she was, and I was like, "Hello, I'm a big fan of yours. What? Why are you at a comic book convention? I didn't know you were in the comics." And she was like, I'm legit not. I mean, I respect it and appreciate it, but I'm trying to expand my audience." I was like, "That's cool." I instantly said, "So why don't you let me turn you into a comic book character and be a character under my comic book label?" She was like, "Bet." Did a photo shoot with her. Designed a costume. We actually got the costume made for her. She came out to Chicago with us one year, wore the costume, came to a couple different shows or whatever. She's since then stopped modeling or whatnot, but she still said that I, gave me permission and the rights to use that character in our book. And her name's Jayana Fabro. That was her model name. So our character name is J Fab, and it's a model that lives this daring, exciting life being a superhero.
Right. That's what's up. I love it. Like, it's funny that like I feel like in the comic book industry, you just never know who you're gonna come across. It's one of those like venues where it draws a whole lot of people from different walks of life, and that's one of the things that I love about it. It's like, oh, I didn't think I'd see so and so here, like whoever it might be. Like, oh,
Right.
like, oh yeah, because he's working on this, and okay.
It definitely brings attention to the table. Let's just say those are some good shows. I sold some good books that year.
That's right.
Lonzo Star says, "What's up, big sis?" Newton says, "What's up?" Sean Mack is in the building. While we aren't husband and wife, that sounds like Michael Watson and him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Sean and I disagree on some stuff, and we go back and forth. Tony says, "You ain't lying, Mike." We got LaShawn again saying, "Lovely, Lovey O, and your husband's teamwork for your female characters when creating them. Is there a guideline you go by for creating them? And are they harder to bring to fruition over some of the male counterparts? Also, do you be nervous if female characters are more scrutinized over the male? Sorry for so many questions at one time, sister girl. LOL. Girl, you keep them questions coming."
Okay, let me read it. That was a lot.
Yeah. Go ahead, break it down one at a time.
Okay, first question. For your female characters when creating them, is there a guideline you go by for creating them? And they harder to bring to fruition over some of the male counterparts. So I think the guideline we go by, I guess, for the female characters is because a lot of ours are based on real people. We try to um, keep them as accurate as possible. Maybe a little bump here and there. I remember one of our friends, Jeannie. Her character is Tiger, and she's basically a Thai assassin. But she's like, okay, that looks good, but I need more boobs or I need more ass. Like so we won't go like super over the top, but like sometimes they will get a little extra. But we do try to keep it like accurate to and authentic to what the person really looks like, and try to bring different what do you call different body types and different just images and things like that to the book, so that folks who aren't like what we all see, the body what word am I looking for? Folks who have altered bodies, is those are the ones that we see all the time, and so a lot of times self-esteem issues and all those things that can especially happen in younger women because they don't look like that. So we definitely want to encourage more realistic, and so people can feel empowered by what they already look like and not feel like they have to have things augmented or things like that. So there's that. Let's see. Are they harder to bring to fruition over some of the male counterparts? Um, that would be a question for my husband. Um, I know what he has said before is that like so our book has characters that are both inspired by real life people and then made up ones. And he has more fun with the made up ones, he said, because he doesn't have to feel like he's letting somebody down or like Um, because when he's creating a character off of a real life person, he wants to do his best to capture the I guess the essence of who that person is, and what they whether or not that person's gonna like the character. And so that's some of the things that he's talked about beforehand. But as time has gone on, I'm like, well, it's your story. Like, I don't think you're gonna do wrong by anybody's character. Um, and so it's gotten easier over time for sure. Um, do you be nervous if female characters are more scrutinized over the male? Um, I would say no. I don't really pay attention to that stuff. Um, Maybe it's because of the way I am. I really don't care. But I guess it's the alpha female in me. Like, I pay attention to people's opinion only to a certain degree,
Uh-huh.
and after a while, it just depends. If it's constructive criticism, I will absolutely take that. But as we all know, there's a lot of people out there who just want to hate on your stuff, and so we are very we always have that in mind, and we only let certain opinions into affect the way we create, or influence what we think about what we create. Most importantly, I don't let any voices in if they have not done anything or have not successfully done what I'm doing right now. So to me, if you're not successful at it, I'm really don't your opinion is not going to have a big influence into what I'm doing. Um, and I feel like that's good advice for everybody. Not saying that you can't take the input, but that you should be very mindful about whose voices you let into your head, um, in whatever you're doing in life, whether it be creating or doing your thing, whatever. You should never let voices who have not done things, because people who are successful are really not going to be the ones that are being all negative Nelly about and hating on your shit. They're just gonna, they'll give you constructive criticism, things to help you elevate your game. But most successful people will appreciate and understand the struggle of what you're trying to do. So that's how I handle
Agreed.
that.
Yeah, I agree
Mm.
with you. If it's constructive criticism, I am all here for it. But even at that light, I don't have to do whatever it is that you're saying.
Exactly.
You know, um, I
Exactly.
take what you like and get rid of what you don't.
Hmm. That's kind of a good. That's what basically what I did when I had some folks give feedback on my story and things like that when I was, writing the initial manuscript for Fishing Day with Papa Ray, and um, there were some good points that were given, but I didn't take them all, because you have a vision for what you want to happen, and if the input or the constructive criticism takes you too far away from where you want to go, then it's probably not something that you need to incorporate. Good things to keep in the back of your mind, maybe for future projects or things like that. But if the voice you need to be listening to the most is your own, really, because it's your project, your creation, and the only person who can get your vision across is going to be you at the end of the day. So
Mm, I'm over here snapping fingers. She's over here dropping knowledge.
I mean,
Uh,
and what you create is not going to be for everybody too, and that's okay too. Like, it's all good. Don't like it, keeps it
ooh,
moving. You like it, cool. We can be,
I absolutely love that. I was watching Black AF on Netflix, and that show was very hard to get into. So about like after the fourth episode, it started picking up, and me and my wife was really starting to enjoy it. But Tyler Perry was on episode 6, and I don't know how intentional this was, if this was his way of saying how he is, but the main character was asking Tyler Perry, "Well, how do you just how do you keep making stuff when people are dogging what you do? When people say you're just pandering and things like that?" Tyler Perry says, "I don't give a f. I don't. I do what I want to do. I'm talking and telling stories to my people, and a lot of times." if you're not my people, if you're not the community I'm talking to, you're not going to get that story. And that story isn't for you. And that is okay. Every story does not have to be for every single person. I'm telling the stories that I want to tell to my people and to my community. And that's why my movies keep selling out, why they still keep being number one and all
Right.
that stuff. And I was like, wow, facts.
Yeah, I mean, clearly he's doing something right because people are still buying it, like at the end of the day, I'm like, to the haters, I'm just like, if you don't like it, then don't buy it. Speak with your money, like stop complaining.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've said that. Like, your money should dictate what you want to see. And
Exactly.
if you're not digging it, then don't buy it.
It's easy. Nobody's
It is
forcing you to pull your dollar out.
it is so easy to just avoid it.
Ah,
Hold up. There we go. I'm trying to get to these comments.
yeah, let me see.
Sure. LaShawn said good answers. I think that's the joy of creating female characters, are that they are magnified heavily over men characters. You can create a male character and then go about your business and not worry about it. Excuse me. Not worry about it will be if it will be accepted. But the female characters we typically have to do like what you have to do. You have to like what's said. You have to add more assets to them, take away more assets from them. Worry about the hair, the clothes. Is she attractive? Is she too sexually attractive? It's just so much to look out for. I do kind of agree with I
Yeah.
kind of do agree with LaShawn on that aspect because I'm working on a new female character now. Um, and I kept looking at all this hair, and I noticed, like, man, I got to really change up like the hair that I'm drawing because a lot of my bigger characters, like my more popular characters, have long hair. So let me switch that up. And so this character I'm making now, she just isn't going to have any hair. She's going to be bald. Um, but still,
Bambi.
trying. But still making her look feminine and being attractive even with without bald hair or whatnot, and what kind of clothes she's gonna wear, because I have her wearing like these cargo pants and kind of like this streetwear,
Yeah.
um trying to figure out, like, she's gonna be a very tactical, agile type person or whatnot, but more militant in her ways or whatnot. But you
Mm.
know I find, and I always joke about this, is that when I'm designing a female character and I'm trying to put regular clothes on them, I spend as much time as my wife does shopping because y'all got a lot of clothes to choose from.
Yeah.
It is ridiculous. I will have like 17 windows up and just trying to pick. All right, well, dang, them shoes look real good, but they look great with them pants. But these pants over here, but what about the top though? Because I want the character to be vivid and real.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I want, like, when I want people to see, like, when they read the book, like, that's a dope ass outfit. I know it is. I spent like 2 hours putting it together.
Yes, the struggle is real. Although for me, I'm so like not the girly girl. So the combat boots, combat pants, and all the cargo pants and things you talk about, I'm like, yeah, that's my speed right there. Give me a
Yeah,
tank
but
top and some cargo pants, I'm good.
and even in today's fashion world of that, there's so much style to those assets now,
Yeah.
to the
Mhm.
type of cargo pants and stuff that you have on and that you wear.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It is a lot.
Let's see. But yeah, going back to LaShawn's comment about like how you just have to take so much more into consideration with the female characters. I do agree with that too. I think more so because it's kind of like with females in real life. Period. Like we dress up and like we're not really dressing up for the dudes. We're dressing up for the other females because like it's like a competition, a silent competition. Like oh, what she's wearing, I gotta be her. Like and I think it's females are more critical about like how we are represented too. Um, and so definitely I can see why there's more scrutiny on the female characters. I know I definitely scrutinize female characters, not necessarily only for the physical appearance, but just like who the character is and how they're developing the plot for that female. Because I don't like,
Mhm.
number one, I don't like weak females. I feel like they throw that at us way too much, like the damsel in distress thing, and most storylines will have to require like a love interest and a dude who's like taking care of her, like she can't stand on her own 2 feet. I hate those storylines. Not that it's not a dude bashing thing, but it's more about like,
Tried seeing it.
yeah, like females can be strong without the male presence, and quite frankly, in a lot of our historical context, a lot of the warriors were females, even though they don't like to put that forward. Um, in mainstream, but um, when I watch movies or when I read, different comics and books and things like that, um, I always appreciate the movies and stories that have strong female characters. So, like, let's see, what's a good one? Um, so like going back a little bit, GI Jane, which was played by Demi Moore.
Hmm.
That one because she was, was she in the Marines? I can't remember which branch she was in. But that was like a female trying to prove herself in a male dominated environment, which is something that I have always personally have always been in.
Hmm.
And so like those are kind of stories that like resonate. Or Furiosa in
Hmm.
Max was it Fury Road? Fury Road?
Yep. Very up.
Like that was my girl. She wasn't even the main character, but that was my girl. She was hardcore.
Yeah.
um There's so many movies. Michelle Rodriguez and Girl Fight, that goes back a little bit too. Um, just girls in, I guess, unconventional but more realistic, really roles.
Yeah.
Let's
Absolutely.
Yeah, and of course Moana. Come on now.
Yeah. 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 I love that one. I think the game really started getting changed for these animated characters. Although I'm tired of the movie now. But with Frozen,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
when when
Yes.
they made it, and like I was so annoyed with it. I'm not gonna lie, I was annoyed with the whole movie. But then I was like, oh, here we go, another prince saving the princess. Oh man! And then it was her sister. I got up and I looked at my kids. It's like it's all about family,
That's right.
family. Dang it! Y'all stop fighting now. Look what sister love can do.
That's right.
That's the only reason I like that movie. It's the only reason I like it. I was like, oh my goodness, finally a change with that. I mean, I drew all the Disney princess for my daughters, but I drew them all as superheroes so they could save themselves.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I like that because it encourages like more independence and not dependence, which is not a good thing for you to wait for a savior. Like,
Right.
not saying you're going to be able to solve everything, but you should always be looking within yourself first whenever you have issues and trying to solve it first before you seek elsewhere. Let's see. Michonne says, I hate weak females. Nothing makes me more mad than a weak ass woman. So true, sis. Morgan says, Okoye in Black Panther. Yes, she was in my head, but it didn't come out of my mouth. Okoye, yeah, that's my girl from when I met her in Walking Dead. Oh my god.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see. Ursa from Vikings. Yeah, my husband loves that show. I haven't watched Vikings yet, but he loves that show.
Uh,
Let's see.
Moana,
Yeah.
go ahead and keep answering the questions,
Okay.
and I'll be right back. Somebody's at my door.
Oh, okay. Hello. Yeah, hit me up with questions, guys. Keep them coming. Let's see. CL Bedell said fashion reviews with Mike Watson, weeknights at 7. Love it. Morgan says it definitely takes way more work for female characters when you care in all respects. And that's a good thing. Yeah, definitely. And especially when it's like your own IP, you want it to be seen in the best light possible. So obviously you're gonna put a lot of thought and research into the things that you put out there. So for sure. Let's see. Hey Tony, what's going on, brother? What is next for me and Birding Spear? So, uh, right now I've been spending a lot of time making masks for people. During the whole COVID situation, I kind of retooled our business, at least the focus of it right now. So I have my own fashion line where I make clothing and dresses that is inspired, like Hawaiian inspired. Um, to That's like one of the ways where I, share my culture and feel connected to it. Um, so we shifted away from that because that's not really, to me, it's not a necessity right now. Right now, people need masks. People need things to, help them feel like they have some level of control with all this COVID crap. So um, we're working on the masks. Next, I'm hoping to. So my goal for May is to have the second book of the Adventures of Nakoa and Nohea series written in May, so that we can do production later this year and hopefully have a Kickstarter running in the fall again. We'll see how that goes. I gotta see if my what my illustrator schedule is looking like, and to see if I need to find somebody else for it. Oh, I love that baby storm. Um, let's see, and then my husband's working on issue 3 and 4. So our plan for the Wildcard Chronicles is to kind of like our vision for it was to have a 4 issue arc, and the advice that I gave to my husband is like just focus on finishing the arc, because for I know for him it's, if he can have closure on one, it will feel a lot better for him. So finished writing those 2 issues. Then we can either do like single issue Kickstarters, or maybe do one big one for a trade, and then have like some maybe single issue in it. I don't know. We haven't decided the whole thing, but definitely finish first arc of Chronicles Rude Awakening so we can move on to Sovereign. He's really excited about Sovereign, and Sovereign is when you're going to see a lot more of the African influence into it, because we want to go deep into the culture, so people can, the more you know about yourself, the more you can see the own power that you have within yourself. Um, and so in Sovereign, we'll be digging more into that part. Um, yeah, and then we'll see. I don't know. COVID's kind of determining a little bit of like what we can do in person, So most of I'm foreseeing, like, we've already lost 5 or 6 shows or that got postponed or canceled. So some of those are hanging still, and others are like, okay, we're just shifting to next year. Um, but for the rest of I really don't see us having big conventions for a while, not till like 2021. We can't really go from like everybody stay home to, okay, now we can let 20,000, 30,000, 40, 50,000 people in one place at once. I don't see it happening. So um just trying to see how that all plays out. But so we've been trying to figure out ways to shift online, like Mike has been doing with his chat and draw series, which is awesome. Let's see. I really like that. I like the colors that you're using there. Um, let's
Well, I
see.
wanted to play off of you said you wanted to kind of build up as static electricity within her hair.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to play with that as energy source. And honestly, that would be, if you did go this route, that would be kind of like the place to start her manipulating and learning the powers.
Yeah.
That it would come off of her own static electricity, and just like as a kid, that's where she would learn how to use the powers and grow. But then as she gets older, she starts pulling the power from within herself or in the atmosphere, or controlling the lightning and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, so all right, let's go ahead and hit them with the video replay. Juana, while that's happening, tell everybody where they can find you.
Oh, okay. So you can find me. My website's moanamcadams.com. On Facebook, I think most everybody watching we're friends, but on Facebook you can just look me up. I have both a personal profile and a page. And then the series itself, Adventures of Nakoa and Nohea, we have a page for it. And yeah, Mike just put up
There
a
it is right
link.
there.
That's where you can check out the book if you would like to. Um, right now, we're running a special on the book. So if you go to that, and when you go to checkout, I think I have it set as an automatic sale. So I think it's a 20% savings right now if you want to pick up the book and check it out. If you didn't catch the Kickstarter, you can still get it now. I will sign it for you and put like a mini poster in there for you, and a sticker, which is some things that I did afterwards because I wanted to throw those in with the books that we're sending to the schools, give the kids some cool stuff. So um, and I'll send you guys links to some digital activity pages that I already have online, so that you can use that for your kids at home and check those out.
Awesome. Um, I wanted to finish that up because when I do the replay, I want people to know where they can find you. There's the link for Moana stuff. Go hit that book up. It's a great book for your kiddos to read to them. Let them read and let them see a part of this culture that they may not be familiar with or know anything about, because my kids didn't, and I was so happy that Moana was there to provide that for us, because they do like to read and they bring down books, they're always reading themselves, and they want me and my wife to read to them, so this was like right on time.
Yay.
um, but I know people are asking Moana a ton of questions, so we're not going to leave yet. I just happened to actually get finished before the hour was done. um, but I want Moana to finish answering the questions
Yeah,
to those
definitely.
that are on there. I want those to get finished for sure. Where'd you leave off at, Moana?
Um, I answered Tony's "What's next" for Burning Spear. I think we're at LaShawn. What
Okay.
what all future projects and businesses do you want to accomplish soon? Anything in film? Oh, other things. What I really need to do is figure out how to get some people helping me because that's kind of the issue that we're having right now is scaling. Yeah, because
Well,
we both have full daytime jobs too. But if all that aside, and I could work on whatever I wanted to work on, I think what I would want to do is I'm starting to do some research on it. Is have my own, like, being able to design and print my own clothing, and have a capability to do custom fabrics and things like that for other independent brands, because I've already had folks asking me, because I'm doing the mask, like, oh, can you do, custom fabrics, like I want to have like hot shot on my mask, like, or have hot
mm,
shot on something. um and so if I could do that, I figure out a way to better do that and set that all up. I would love to do that. As far as film, yes, my husband would love to see the Wild Card Chronicles on film. I would love to see it on film because every time we pitch it, they're like, "Oh, is this going to be a movie?" So, I don't know how that's going to happen, but that's definitely in the long term um, vision. So we'll see how that all plays out. Let's see, Danny. How long have I been riding motorcycles? I've always been too chicken to get on one. It's it's not that bad. How long have you been riding? I guess, what is this, 2020? So about 12 years now, 13 years. And it's actually how my husband and I met. I was contemplating buying my first motorcycle, and we met, I think it was like in an online forum, and he was like, "Hey, you should always have, be careful about who you're riding with." And like, you should come ride with me. Obviously he was trying to mac, but
uh,
but no, he did. He was really truly looking out for me, and he does that with everybody who's in our crew. So, um, that's how we met. If you're too chicken, check out a motorcycle safety course in your area. They use smaller motorcycles, 250s, that are lighter, and you can see how you feel comfort wise on the bike. If that, just going through that class scares you, you probably shouldn't pursue. But it's not that bad.
that
It's
was That was the name they gave me when I started riding because I had a 250 and they made fun of me. And I was like, I don't give a damn. I'm trying to look cool and live. All right.
That's right.
All that,
You don't have to impress me. Impress me by getting home safe. That's
yeah,
like, hey.
all that horsepower you got between your legs. I ain't here for it, man. Like, I
Yeah.
went, I went riding with my brother Ren because he's the one that taught me how to ride. And look, Moana, I'm not ashamed. I have my helmet on. I have my jacket on. Little 250 Ninja. I was down there rolling on the freeway. I was locked all the way in, just like getting it. And then he comes up next to me riding like this, and
Man.
and then pulled off. No hands on the handlebars, nothing. Just left me. I was like, "You think I'm about to chase you? I'm not. I'll see you. I'll see you when I get there." I was
That's
in my
right.
own little world.
Smart man, because there are a lot of people who would try and chase and get beyond their skill level. Myself being included in that. I'm not gonna lie, I did it once and I ended up with I got into an accident. So don't do that. Yeah, all of us in the crew have been down. We have like I have a broken partially like broken what do you call this? Clavicle?
Clever.
Collar
Collarbone.
collarbone, yeah, that thing. Um and the first question one of the boys when they came to the hospital, they're like, "So are you getting back on?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I'm getting back on." They're like, "That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking
Awesome. Yeah, man. I do miss it. Motorcycles are pretty dang awesome. I
about.
used to ride that bad boy to work, and everybody like people that didn't even never talk to me was like, "Oh, is that your bike?" And I'm like, yeah, it's mine. What you want? They never talked to me before because I roll in here on a Monday on my bike. Now you feel like we can have a conversation.
Yes.
What else we got in these comments?
The Morgan was talking about how he's anal with character design and symbolism. I feel you, brother. Um, let's see. When you set out on a project, do you have lines that you refuse to cross?
Ooh.
Huh. Um, no. No, I don't. No, not when it's like the things that I write about and I care about. I'm passionate about it to be enough to be doing it. So if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna go all the way. I don't really half-ass, and neither does my husband. It's kind of how we roll. So
Mhm.
if we're doing it, we're gonna go all the way. Um,
Thank you very much, Morgan. I appreciate it, man. I've been trying to bring the noise for y'all with this artwork online between drawing the comic book, doing the fan art, and doing the commissions I've been getting. I want y'all to freaking see me, damn it.
that's right.
um,
It's Mike Watson, y'all.
we gonna figure out how to do online conventions. Yeah, that's something I thought that was really fun and good. I obviously I don't think it's all the way worked out for everyone yet, or how can we make that a fruitful financial gain? I think it was a great social media gain. I think a lot of us garnered and got a lot of other people's audiences for one another. We met new people that we normally would not have met in another light. So I think once you get down how to do an online comic book convention, it's gonna be great.
Yeah. I mean, start small, like anything. Like if I was starting a new con, start small, see what folks are interested, and just build like you build anything else. Everything has to start somewhere.
What's up, Jen? This is the time that I live stream this show every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'm trying to get those casual workers. Just be like Danny J. Quick. Watch it without the sound. He just puts it up at his desk and watches it without the sound.
Put your earphones in.
All right. Well, I think we got to all of them. One last thing I want to do here is I had Stephanie Menard on my show a couple weeks ago or a couple of days ago, and she sent me something, and I think it's my stuff. I hate these damn packages. I can never forget. I hate the ones that don't come with the little strip. Because now, like if I was off camera, this would be fine. But I just pulled this up thinking, oh, I'm just gonna rip this up with my
Yeah.
big strong arms, and now I'm here looking dumb because now it's taking me way longer. Let me see here. Let me pull back. But I got it open. All right. Let's see here. Oh man, there we go. Oh yes. the number 2 issue. Got that right there by Stephanie.
And
She signed it for me. I can't wait to read this. Uh,
yay.
yeah, I've been waiting for it. I missed it, but now I got it. So I want to thank Moana for coming on to the show. Nothing but respect and love for this woman. She's out here killing it. I hope she likes the illustration I did for you today. I hope you like it.
I did. I love it. I can't wait.
I'm going to get that emailed over to you, and then that's yours to do what you want with it or whatnot. This is episode 19 of Chat and Draw. I will be coming out with some announcements as the show will be getting an upgrade, and there'll be some new stuff added to it because we're coming around to the what I'm dubbing the season finale, not the series finale, season finale before we start another season. And that's going to be around the 25th episode. And if you're a true comic book fan, you know why I picked the 25th episode. If you're a true comic book fan. Tomorrow, I have Chris Williams on with me, and Chris Williams is doing a double header, so I will have him on Wednesday and Thursday. This Saturday, there will not be a special episode because I'll be doing something with the family during that time. And but Tuesday, I have a double header. Lori Foster will be on Tuesday, and I have somebody else scheduled. I gotta look at the calendar. The show's going great. I can't even keep track of all the people that we're going to have on the show. So again, I thank everybody for the support, for watching, for sharing. Tell people about it. If you want to come back on the show with another character, go right ahead and do that. Again, support this woman. Go check out that children's book. Go check out the husband and wife combo comic book company they have out here with their books and stuff. And thanks again. There it is. Wild card, baby, right there. All right. Moana, thank you again. And everybody, that is a wrap, and I'm taking you out.